Kia ora and welcome to another edition of Big Boys Boxing Live. Be sure to smash that thumbs up button on your way in and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss future content. If you'd like to become part of the panel, come and have your say, give your opinion, you're most welcome to. All you need to do is send me a private message on Discord and I'll send you a link, get you on. So without further ado, let's do this.
What is up, team? Welcome back to Big Boys Boxing for what is probably going to be the last live show for the year. Kids all coming home from school, not much time on my hands, so I'll drop the odd video here and there, but probably keep the lives until next year. So without further ado, let's get this going. Alright, so the big news this morning is Tyson Fury has split with Ben Davison, his trainer. They beat history, but it seems like they're still going to stay mates. Just let me do an audio check here, y'all. They beat, it's all good. Get the smoke in the house. Hope you good, brother. Wilder's Equalizer also in the house. Good to have yous in. So also we have confirmation of Tyson Fury's new coach. It will be the nephew of Hall of Fame trainer Emmanuel Stewart. And the guy's name is Sugar Hill Stewart. So just a mo here, we'll have a listen to this article I found on Boxing Scene about it. Check it out.
Tyson Fury announces Sugar Hill Stewart as new trainer. As BoxingScene.com first reported earlier this morning, heavyweight contender Tyson Fury was parting ways with trainer Ben Davison. Davison, who was mobbed with questions in the aftermath of the report, would later confirm the information on social media. Obviously it is not gonna stop until there's an answer. Tyson and myself had to both make decisions for our careers, which resulted in our working relationship coming to an end. However, we remain friends and he will smash the dosser, Davison wrote on social media. Fury would later make his own announcement that he hired Javin Sugar Hill, now known as Sugar Hill Stewart, as his new head trainer. Getting the old team back up and running, Sugar Hill Stewart. Kronk boys back in town. Let the games begin. While there is a dosser, Fury wrote on social media. More details to come.
So there you have it. Sugar Hill Stewart is going to be the new trainer for Tyson Fury out of the Kronk gym. So this dude is currently training Charles Martin. Maybe there's going to be some sparring for Charles Martin in there as well. Maybe not the best preparation for Deontay Wilder, being southpaw, quite a bit smaller. But I'm sure they'll do some good work in there, which would benefit both guys. And it is what it is. The reason for the split with Ben Davison is a mystery at this stage. Maybe something to do with John Fury in the last camp. Wasn't happy with how preparation went. I don't know, man. It is what it is. But give me a sec here, y'all. I'm just copying the link for anybody who might want to come and join the chat. It wasn't any heavyweight action really over the weekend to talk about, but there's a couple of fights I watched. I watched the Teofimo Lopez versus Richard Comey fight. Watched the Terence Crawford versus Kavaliauskas fight as well. That was a great fight to watch, man. Wasn't expected to be that competitive, but it was. So a little bit to talk about there. Alright, so let me sec here for anybody who might like to jump on and have a yarn. There's a link in the chat there. You need a Discord account. If you haven't got one, you can click on that. It'll take you through the sign up process and you can join the chat. So yeah, looking forward to getting some of y'all on, see how we go. The Teofimo Lopez versus Richard Comey fight was interesting, to say the least. Most people were thinking maybe the youth and the power of Teofimo Lopez would win through on the day, but I don't think anybody was picking a knockout in the second round. Even the guys who were firmly picking Lopez, none of them were saying an early stoppage. Hell no. I think Richard Comey was just overwhelmed. Didn't respect the power of Teofimo Lopez, and he paid the price. Copped the big right hand right on the chin, down the pipe, and couldn't recover. And went down to a knee, then tried to stand up, then fell over. Had spaghetti legs all over the place, Queer Street all the way. He managed to regain his feet, enough for the referee to let him continue. But Lopez came in with a big barrage of punches. Comey got hit again, and the ref stopped the fight right on cue, I thought. So it's brewing. It's brewing, a fight between sorry, I wasn't in the call. A fight between Vasily Lomachenko and Teofimo Lopez is competitive, man. I think both guys can give each other problems, and it's looking to be a very competitive fight. When it gets made, or should I say if, I think it's probably when. But I think both guys would smoke Devin Haney. So, if the Lopez versus Lomachenko fight gets made, there's only one belt left to pick up. And don't give me the shit like Mauricio Solomon said. If Lomachenko beats the winner of Comey versus Lopez, then Loma is undisputed. No, he is not. The franchise champion designation is exactly that. It's a designation. It's not a new championship. It's not a title. Those were the words of Mauricio Solomon. So don't get your wires crossed. Nobody is undisputed at 135 until they pick up all recognized belts, and the franchise champion is not a title. It's a designation. And that's one of the big reasons for me that there's only what's the date today? Here in New Zealand it's the 16th of December. There's only 15 days left before the boycott of the WBC begins for me and many others. Mascot designation. It's just a duck belt. I don't see why these guys want to take it. They don't want to fight their mandatories. They don't want to be recognized as WBC champion. And they don't want undisputed. Simple as that. But Loma holds 2 other belts, so he's still a champion, just not of the WBC for me. Alright, we've also got a fight coming up next weekend. It's a gimme for Daniel Dubois. He's going to be taking on Kyutaro Fujimoto, Japanese fighter who has fought nobody. And he even got knocked the fuck out by a part-time boxer in Solomon Hamono. He got knocked out good too in that fight. So, you know, he's even fought a middleweight twice to get this WBO strap that he has. I'm just gonna look it up. Let's see what strap it is, because this will be on the line, and it's gonna be a good Christmas present for Daniel Dubois. It's gonna boost him in the rankings. Shit, he might even end up above Joseph Parker in the WBO rankings, potentially getting him a title shot. Maybe. We're still waiting to see what's going to happen with this WBO IBF situation with Anthony Joshua. It sounds like he's going to try and fight both mandatories, which would mean he'd have to either fight in February against Pulev, then Usyk before June 4th, or he's going to have to pay somebody step aside money and fight them in a row, but at his leisure if he can get a step aside. But I don't know if Alexander Usyk would take a step aside. He wants a shot, and if it's going to be a shot at a vacant belt against a potentially easier opponent than Anthony Joshua, I'm sure that's the route he'll try and take. I guess it depends on how much moolah Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua are willing to shout out to get Usyk to wait. You know, money talks, bullshit walks. So, give me a sec here. Kitaru Fujimoto. BoxRec. Kitaru Fujimoto on BoxRec. There he is. So this dude's been hanging around in the rankings for a long time, fighting nobody, picking up minor belts here and there, but yeah, it is what it is. Like I say, somebody was in the chat and disappeared. Don't know why I dropped out of the call there for a moment. Sorry y'all, whoever was in there. I'm back in now. Hopefully whoever it was may join again. Just trying to look up who it was. It looks like the call actually cancels. Cycle. Yeah, if nobody joins the call, it closes by itself. So apologies for whoever that was who was in the call. Right, what was I doing? Kitaru Fujimoto. Where did it go? Man, I've got a lot of windows open. Here he is. He's 21-1. He's got that one loss to Solomon Hamono from Australia. So he's fighting Dubois at the Copper Box Arena. Where's the belts that's on the line? The belts that are on the line are the vacant WBC silver belt. That's the one that Dillian White used to hold before he became interim champion. The WBO International Heavyweight title is also on the line, and that's the one that Tom Schwartz had, I believe, to get him that high ranking that he held for a while. So this is why I say, if he gets hold of this belt, it's going to boost him in the rankings considerably. And let me have a look at the rankings here. There we go, rankings. So, where is he now? Tom Schwartz, Evgeny Romanov, Michael Hunter, Junior Farr. Daniel Dubois is at number 6 right now, below Adam Kovnatski, Joseph Parker at 4, Anthony Joshua at 3. So these are obviously not updated at the moment. the WBO rankings, because Anthony Joshua is the champion once again. Who knows where Andy Ruiz is going to end up in the WBO rankings as well. He might end up at number 3 where Joshua is now. That would make sense to me, just both of them swap positions. However, I think Anthony Joshua's got a stronger resume, so maybe Andy Ruiz would drop down possibly to where Daniel Dubois is now, maybe number 6. And if Dubois picks up that belt, I could definitely see him being number 4 and Joseph Parker getting dropped down to number 5 due to his inactivity. So it'd be an interesting situation, but I'll watch the fight. I expect Kitaro Fujimoto is going to get knocked out within 3 rounds easily. But you never know. This is heavyweight boxing. One punch can change everything. I seriously don't have any faith in Kitaro Fujimoto. I'm actually surprised he hasn't even pulled out of the fight yet. I mean, he's been signed to fight names before and then thought better of it. So I've always said I haven't had faith that he will actually get in the ring with Dubois. You know, maybe he might shit himself at the weigh-in looking at how big and strong Daniel Dubois is and might bail, but it'll be the best payday for him. That link don't do anything. Okay, I will go and create a new link. Thanks for letting me know, Double A. Oh yeah, I'll create a new link. Give me a sec here. How do I do this? Your invite link expires in 3 hours, it says. Hold on. How do I change that? And now it's kicked me out of the call again. So, into the call. Here we go. Still sussing out this new technology here, eh? So, give me a sec, y'all. Copied a new link. We'll see if this one works. New link in the chat. Try that one, y'all. Where do I go? That's the cycle shit, kicked me out again. Alright. Try that link. Anybody who wants to join, let me know if that one works. If not, I'll have to create a brand new one somehow. But it should work. It's a 3-hour link. Who are the top 5 heavyweight boxers for New Zealand? Man, Joseph Parker's obviously top of the stack. For me, I've got Hemi Ahio above Junior Fa at present. Junior Fa, for me, I've lost a lot of faith in that boy. Then Junior Fa at number 3. We've got a couple of new heavyweights coming through, but I can't remember their names. Just a sec, I have to look them up. Let's see. That's how we do it. Here we go. Look them up on BoxRec, that way I can refresh my memory. So yeah, BoxRec have got Joseph Parker, Junior Fa, then Hemi Ahio, but I'd switch Hemi Ahio and Junior Fa around. They've got Julius Long at number 4, American, who's been here for a long time. I don't know if I'd put him at number 4 either. He's very much a journeyman. This is the new guy at number 5. They've got him, but I would put him at number 4. Is Kiki Toa Latali. This guy is 7-0 with 2 draws at present. He fought Julius Long to a draw. Who else has this guy fought? He's fought Jason Aloisi, Colin Wilson. These are the common journeyman names down here from New Zealand, Australia. Who else has he fought? Ali Lotto, yeah, I've seen him. Who's this other drawer against? Where is it? Oh, his first fight, his first professional fight was a majority draw against Daniel Tai. Now, Daniel Tai is a tough son of a bitch. I'd probably put Daniel Tai at number 5, actually, for our New Zealand heavyweights. Both Junior Fa and Hemi Ahio have fought him. Nobody can knock him out. He don't get stopped. Simple as that. I think in the fight Hemi had against him, though, Hemi might have been able to stop him if he had some decent shoes. He had these shoes on that were slipping every time he tried to sit down on a punch. His feet would slide backwards. So, you know, but Daniel Tai comes from a family of kickboxers. He's been a kickboxer most of his life, but now he's taken on boxing. Both when Junior Fa and Hemi Ahio fought him, it was for the New Zealand title. So there you go. Just looking who you guys have got here. Rugby league players. Well, you know, that's where most of our athletes go, is to either rugby or rugby league these days. Damn, link closed again. Oops. Got someone in here. What's going on? Hello? Hello?
Does that work, John?
Yep, it's working now, mate. We got ya.
Oh, right.
Sorry,
Didn't know how to work that. Tommy just sent me the link, Tommy Temple.
Okay. It's this new technology.
Nah, I got that bet totally wrong. I honestly thought Comey was going to beat Lopez quite easily.
Did you? Okay.
Yep, so
What made you
had a
think
bad
that?
weekend.
Just a skill level difference or something, maybe?
I just thought experience. I thought he's just too raw. He's just not ready yet. He blasted him out of there, didn't he?
He did. I didn't think it was going to go that quickly either. I didn't even know if Lopez was going to knock him out, but you know, I was slightly picking Lopez, but that's just because of the youth. But man, that was spectacular, wasn't it? So how do you think Lopez would go against Lomachenko now?
Oh, I don't know. If you'd asked me that 24 hours ago, I would have said Loma absolutely skills him, but I think if he can get to Loma, he's going to hurt him. I know that for sure. If he does catch Loma, he is going to hurt him.
Mm.
It's whether he can catch Loma. Loma's quite. The more I watch Loma quite likes to showboat, and he likes to just beat out of range just by half an inch, rather than. It's an exciting fight. I don't think they'll make that fight anytime soon. No.
You don't think so?
I think they're blowing smoke with that. I don't think that'll be made. Maybe in 12 months' time, but he's going to defend that belt, isn't he, before he fights?
I guess so, yeah.
It's not going to be his neck. So we'll see. Should be interesting, though.
Yeah, I'd be hopeful that maybe it could get made for the end of next year or something like that. Maybe a couple of fights in the interim, but Loma's still got 2 belts that he's got to maintain, doesn't he, with his mandatories and shit. So he could be busy. We'll see what happens. Do you
What
think?
happens with this? This is what I wanted to know about the franchise belt. Loma's got a franchise belt, right?
Yeah.
Loma can still ask to fight the WBC champion.
Yeah, he can.
So
Yep.
he can request to fight the WBC champion at any time. So once he unifies, if he wants undisputed, he can request to fight the WBC champion.
Yeah. I don't expect it to be happening in any hurry, though. Kind of defeats the purpose of petitioning to become a franchise champion if he turns around and fights the guy who was his mandatory, doesn't it? But
Just got to be a wait for that as well, but because when Haley comes back, he'll have to fight for his belt.
yeah, well, he's been stripped due to injury, isn't he? So
But when he comes back, he'll not be champion, will he? He'll have to fight the champion to win his belt.
yeah. Yeah, well, I wonder.
So we could have a franchise and interim and a champion again.
I wonder, the WBC did make Loma the mandatory for the WBC belt initially, didn't he? When he fought Campbell. When he fought Campbell. So maybe they could do that to Lopez even in the meantime.
Possibility.
And have Haney and Lopez fight for the vacant WBC title. I'd watch it.
Do you know the fight that's been ordered? The fight that got ordered for the WBC belt that Haley's just been stripped to? Has that been ordered with a deadline, or did it just get ordered?
I don't know if there was a fight ordered actually.
Luke Campbell's been ordered to fight for that belt, hasn't he?
Okay, that's news to me. I haven't been following it that closely, but
I'm sure they've announced who's fighting for the belt. I can't remember who it was. Luke Campbell's been ordered to fight somebody, but I don't know if they set a date or whether they were just asking him to try and make the fight now.
I'll have a quick look. Google knows everything. Let's have a look. Luke Campbell.
What do you think for Junior Fado? I'm actually real worried about him.
I think he's just sitting around hoping he can get a voluntary shot since he's got a WBO ranking. To me, I think Lou DiBella got a bit of a fright when he got knocked down by Dominic Gwynn and he stepped backwards. And even with stepping backwards in the level of competition, he still can't stop the guys. So, I wouldn't be surprised because Hemi Ahio's been fighting on the same cards. If Lou DiBella starts putting Hemi Ahio in fights that are higher level than Junior Fa, because he's exciting. Junior Fa's not exciting. He's boring as
That's
fuck.
like Daniel Dubois. See this Daniel Dubois fight? He's fighting Fujimoto.
Yes, next weekend.
Daniel Dubois doesn't have a WBA ranking. It's the only sanctioning board where he's not got a ranking. But Fujimoto was ranked 20.
Yeah, Fujimoto's got that WBO international title, and that's where it's getting him that ranking. Who's he?
And he's fighting for the vacant silver belt as well that Dillian White had.
Yeah, the WBC silver. Where's Fujimoto? I thought he was in the WBO rankings. I can't see him.
Has he been dropped for the rankings? He was ranked when the fight was announced.
Dempsey McKean, Derek Chisora, Edget Caveat, number 15. He was there. Yeah. Just have a quick squiz through all of the bodies. And I can't seem to find him anywhere. Oh, there he is. He's got a IBF ranking, 13. What's it, WBA?
Is it the IBF? But is Daniel Dubois already ranked in the IBF? Maybe it was the IBF when it was
Sorry,
ranked.
it's WBA. Fujimoto's got number 13.
Oh. He's got a Pan's Asian trinket or something. He's got something in it. He's not got an international or intercontinental WBA. Just Vetkin and Hunter had them.
Well, apparently on BoxRec, the WBO international belt's going to be on the line for that fight, as well as the WBC silver.
WBC silver.
Yeah. So, I'm not sure how they can put the WBO international belt on the line if Fujimoto doesn't have a ranking there. That seems dumb, or is that one that Daniel Dubois already
No,
holds.
He already holds that. But when Swartz fought for that, you got to remember when Tom Swartz won that, he never fought a WBO ranked opponent to win that belt. So I don't think you need to fight a ranked opponent to win the belt.
Okay, fair enough.
It's like the one Herkovich has got. Do you know the WBC International?
Yes. Yeah, those international and intercontinental belts, they seem to hold a lot of weight with some bodies, eh? So interesting. I thought Dubois didn't have that international belt. So my theory of Fujimoto possibly jumping above Joseph Parker in the WBO rankings probably isn't going to happen, maybe, if he already holds that international belt. So, yeah, interesting. We shall see. But did you watch the Crawford Kavaliauskas fight as well?
I watched that. Nah, I did. I watched that. I fell asleep just as soon as it finished. I was glad it finished because I was shattered.
There is a copy up on YouTube. For those who hadn't seen it.
I thought that was going to go this. I had that going the distance. I thought that would have went the distance. I thought he would have got beat better. Like I wasn't shocked that the Kavaliauskas could fight. I've seen him fight before. He wasn't exactly a cherry pick. I think he was actually mandatory as well, but he was more than capable.
Yeah, I think he just needs some work on his footwork, but besides that, he's got pretty good timing. He hits hard. I mean, he knocked Terence Crawford down, and they didn't call it a knockdown as well. I thought that was a bit shit, but
I've not watched it back, but to me it looked like a knockdown when I watched it the first time.
Yeah, me too. He copped a big right hand and then started stumbling forward, and Kavaliauskas was trying to throw lots of punches, but they were kind of hitting over the top of Crawford's head as he was going down, and the ref called it a slip. Silly maggot, but he recovered well.
I've not watched. It's not that he looks. Even then, I thought he still looked good. The punches he lets go when he's inside and when he's moving in. And it's all right, a boxer moving in and letting go of punches, but see when you're letting go of punches as you go in, it's completely different. Only certain boxers can actually do it, and it's delightful to watch I thought it was a good performance.
Yeah,
I'm glad I stayed up for it.
I was glad to see Terence standing and trading for a change instead of being, purely boxer. I kind of liken it to what Floyd Mayweather did to Conor McGregor. He was walking in with a high guard, taking a few shots here and there, but showing that he's got some real dog in him, and he got the job done. So pretty impressive, and it was a entertaining fight to watch. I loved it. It was a bit of a surprise. I mean, I thought Kavaliauskas might have a chance of maybe doing some damage in the first sort of 6 rounds, and it seemed to be the case, but that lack of footwork, I think he's really got to quicken up those feet if he wants to be competitive, well, any more competitive than he was at the top of the welterweight division. But it was fun, man. Fun fight.
It was a good card.
Yeah. And did you watch the Ultimate Boxer 6 over the weekend as well?
I was at Ultimate Boxer. Do you remember me years ago telling you about, I said, I know a big boxer for Scotland, and he fought in Madison Square Garden when he was 18, and he came back and lost to David Howell.
Yeah, who was it you mentioned?
Remember me telling you? That's him. That was him who was fighting Jay McFarlane. He got beat in the first fight. He's only still only 21. So he's only 21 still.
Was that Healy?
He's had 15 fights. No. McFarlane.
Oh.
Jay McFarlane.
Oh, it was him. He wasn't fighting McFarlane. Okay.
Oh no, he was in terrible shape. He was absolutely shocking. He was in no fit state to be fighting.
Yeah.
He needs to. He was doing. He sparred David Price for the Price Chisora camp. He was doing there, done a full camp, and then he came back and obviously no trained proper.
Yeah.
He's had a good camp and then he's been sat on his arse for weeks instead of being training still. So he let himself go big time. Yeah.
Well, that was the first time I'd actually sat and watched the Ultimate Boxer right through, and having the heavyweights. Man, it's a good format for guys trying to make a name for themselves. I quite like it. And having a couple of good upsets in there. I was expecting Kamil Sokolovsky to make it at least to the semis. But he got smoked. He got outboxed by somebody who looked really ragged. I can't remember the guy's name, but he got knocked out in the semis. The ex-rugby league player guy.
I've seen Camille fight live. I watched him. I'm trying to think. I'll go through his record, but I think I've actually seen him about 6 times live.
Yeah,
and he's good. I've never seen him win. The Lucas Brown fight, people were gaining him the win against Lucas Brown, but I was at that fight. He did knock Lucas Brown down, but apart from that, Lucas Brown did take the rounds, so it was a draw. It should have been a draw, to be fair.
yeah.
But it was a good. He's solid. I mean, he puts on that Nick Webb fight when he beat Nick Webb and Naylor Ball and stuff. That was just punches. He just managed to get inside and land punch. So he's got a couple of good O's on his record.
Yeah.
But I honestly didn't think he was going to win that. I fancied Nick Webb to win it.
Yeah, well, I was thinking if Nick Webb came up against Sokolovsky, he might take another loss to Sokolovsky. Because of the volume and the hunger that he usually fights with. But he didn't seem as hungry in the fight that he lost. But he's an entertaining guy to watch. He always comes to fight. He always puts in his best effort. So it was a bit of a shock.
That should be quite regular. They should do a lot of heavyweight competitions, even if it's just local tournaments. Because a lot of the boxers, I think, out of the 8 boxers, 4 of them or 5 of them were for Yorkshire. 1 was Scottish. And then you had Camila, but they were all based around about. Most of the boxers live within 20-minute drive of me.
Yeah.
Because they're all ex-rugby league players, and that's. But I live in rugby land.
Yeah. What do you think of Mark Bennett? Guy who was in the final against Nick Webb.
He was the soldier.
Yeah.
He looks decent as well, but it's the same again. I don't know what level he could get to.
I think
it depends. He's already fighting. That was fringe British level, wasn't it? Like, let's be fair. That's what that tournament was. It's people who aren't quite good enough for a British title.
Yeah, well, there's a few guys there that, boxing's a part-time sport for them. But I think Mark Bennett, if he went full-time, got a good trainer on helping him out, got his conditioning sorted, I think he could have won that fight. Particularly because
I think he trains. He trains full-time in Huddersfield.
Okay.
He is training full-time. But I don't know how long he's been boxing for. He is a full-time boxer now.
Okay.
He trains with Tyrone Nuss's dad.
Yeah.
I don't know who promotes him. He might actually be promoted by one of the local promoters around about here as well, Steve Woods. I don't know if he's a Steve Wood fighter. But I think he only started boxing a couple of years ago as well, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, I think he was another one who started playing rugby. He got discharged from the army because he went partially deaf in one ear. So he couldn't be in the army anymore, but started playing rugby, and then someone said he should start boxing because he loves a scrap. And here he is. But I think he could have done better in that final if he hadn't have had such hard fights prior to the final. I mean, Nick Webb got that knockout in the semi-finals to shorten his time in the ring prior to the final. But certainly entertaining, and well done to Nick Webb. He's 50k richer, given his career a bit of a boost. Maybe he could get a shot at a British title after that. He certainly needed that boost after losing to Dave Allen and Kamil Sokolovsky.
He's going to get a TV slot, isn't he? That's all you're hoping for, to get back on TV and do something on TV.
Yeah. But I wasn't exactly impressed with how Nick Webb looked. He's got a heavy hand, but lots of questions over his chin and his volume of punches. He was utilising the jab a little bit in the final, but he could utilise it a lot more. But I guess the level of competition you're fighting, you fight to your opponent. So, see where it goes. I'm interested though.
That was a good tournament.
It was. Who actually runs that? Do you know who put it on?
I think it's Pryor. I don't know. I don't know if it's Mark Pryor.
Okay.
I'm not actually sure who does Ultimate Boxer. I'll have a look just now for you. Who's the actual promoter of it. There's another tournament with a similar name. It's called VIP Boxer as well. That's happening in the next couple of weeks in the UK. It's all small boxers like that.
Okay.
It says Benjamin Shalom. Don't know who he is.
Yeah, never
Must
heard
just
of that one.
die. He does Ultimate Boxer. Well, he does Ultimate Boxer this year.
Yeah.
Different people must do it every year. Oh, there it's no. Carl Greaves is a matchmaker. He's a promoter usually, so I take it it's his. Somebody else. He just does the matchmaking for it. Somebody else puts their name to the promotion.
Okay.
Carl Greaves.
Yeah.
It's him who, do you know David Aviasian?
Oh, I heard the name. Don't know who he is though.
He's a Russian, but he's based in England. That's his manager, promoter, trainer, coach,
Oh, yep.
everything.
I forgot that I was looking for something, but I found an article here. Luke Campbell gets the green light to fight for the WBC lightweight title. There's no fight ordered as yet, and that came
It's
out.
not ordered, but the opponent has been.
Has it? That came out on the 14th. Today's the 16th here. It's probably still the 15th here, but it was an article
Have a
from
look and see him.
article from the Sun.
I thought he'd been. What that person had been named.
We've got L Dog in the house as well. How are you today, brother? Still getting himself situated. Still on mute.
Fortuna.
Oh, okay. Xavier Fortuna.
Yeah, it says there if they don't. Oh wow, the period of negotiation is ordered for Fortuna and Luke Campbell to contest the vacant title with the WBC. Listen to this. That's quick. If an agreement is not reached, a post bid will be held on January the 3rd.
Okay. So looking to get the fight for February.
That's less than a month they gave him.
Yeah. Short notice, alright, man. We'll see.
Jono,
Hey, Marla's in the house. How are you today, bro?
good man.
Awesome. Did you catch any boxing over the weekend there, brother?
Yeah, I watched Crawford.
Oh, yeah. It's a pretty entertaining fight, that one, wasn't it?
Oh, it was good, man. It was good. A few people are trying to stick it to Crawford and that, but I felt the other guy, he had some tricks up his sleeve, and he was a pretty handy fighter. Those first 3 rounds, he was in there, but once Crawford worked him out, he started smashing him over pretty easy.
Yeah.
I thought that Crawford got a bit macho with it. I think he could have been a little bit tactically smarter. I think he was up for the scrap sort of thing,
Yeah. Was it a fair knockdown to you, do you reckon?
No, I didn't really think so.
Okay.
Like he hit him, and then Crawford went to tie him up, and then the guy sort of pushed him, and he went down onto his knees, but he got up and he didn't look hurt at all. I'm skeptical of whether it was a legit knockdown.
Okay.
But some people are saying it is. I'm not sure, really. Yeah, hard to say. But he took it well. He didn't look. His legs weren't gone or anything. He looked strong. He got straight back into it. So yeah.
Did you also watch that Ultimate Boxer 6 that was on? It's available on YouTube if you haven't.
I know. I didn't see that. No, I didn't see that. I saw Lopez Comey.
Lopez Comey. Wow, that was a shock, wasn't it?
Oh, smashed him, mate. Smashed him, mate.
Smashed
Yeah,
him
that was a good fight.
Yeah, smashed him like a stone on
So
a windscreen.
there's some good fights on.
Yeah.
But I had that's the only fights I saw. But I had one guy, really hilarious. This guy was criticising Crawford for fighting bums, and I said, well, the guy was a mandatory. Then this idiot come back to me in this long-winded post with plenty of abuse in it, and no paragraphs in it, which made it great to read. And he says, and he's going on about Bob Arum just makes the mandatory whatever he wants it to be and all this. And I said to the guy, I said, well, that's really great. I said, but the reality is, the guy was ranked number 1 with the WBO in the rankings. He's been deemed the mandatory. He's got that designation. Crawford had to fight him. He either fights him now or he fights him later. So he's fought him now. He's got him out of the way, and now he's a free agent for a considerable period of time.
Well,
So any of these other fighters who want to run their mouths about Bud Crawford, well, they're free to step up and fight him now.
Yep.
They need to put their money where their mouth is and sign a contract.
Yeah, definitely. I think Kavaliauskas was worthy of a shot myself as well. He proved that, he made it a bit competitive. He landed some good shots on Terence Crawford, and, credit to Crawford for stepping up, showing he's got some dog. It doesn't matter what anybody throws at him. He can deal with any kind of style. So,
and it was just a matter of, I remember when Crawford fought Jeff Horn. Jeff Horn had some success in the early rounds.
Yeah.
And then once he worked out Jeff Horn, he hammered him.
It's that download
it was
process, eh?
Yeah, and it was the same. It was the same thing with this guy. He sort of first 3 rounds, the guy was in there landing some shots, but once Crawford worked him out, it got lopsided very quickly.
Yeah.
He started hammering. And one thing I thought Crawford could have done, Crawford was fighting southpaw. Now, from my understanding, he can fight both ways. He was fighting southpaw. The other guy was countering with some quick straight right hands. I wondered why Crawford didn't switch back to the orthodox stance.
Yeah, well, I heard
Because
commentators talking to Bomac between rounds there, and he's saying he's going to switch to back to orthodox when he feels it. But I think he's more naturally orthodox. So once he feels that the fighter is worn down or getting tired, then he switches back to orthodox to get a bit more power with that right hand, maybe. But it's a handy tool to mix up against fighters changing stance.
Yeah. Yeah, I just saw him though, because southpaws can be vulnerable to a straight right hand.
Yeah.
So when I saw him taking those right hands, I thought, why don't you switch?
Yeah.
But
I certainly understand.
he's the one who he's the one who's in there. He knows what he's doing. So
yeah. Just trying to look through the rankings to see if Kavaliauskas is ranked anywhere else. He's certainly the WBO number 1. He was.
it'd be interesting for Crawford. He can't fight Spence. Spencer's not available. Got to be realistic about that. But it'd be interesting to see who else he can go up against in the welterweights. Like he's got Jesse Vargas is ranked next in the WBO. Then you've got Danny Garcia, ranked number 3. Manny Pacquiao. I don't know what age Pacquiao is now. If that could be made. You got there's
PBC.
Mikey Garcia and Danny Garcia, Sean Porter. Whether or not they're friends, apparently, Porter and Crawford.
Yeah. There's
I'd still like to
Ugas
see
is
them
another
fight.
one he could fight.
Who was that?
Jordanis Ugas.
Oh, yep.
He's another reasonably high-rated fighter. He's number 1 with the with the IBF, number 2 with the WBA, or number 3 with the WBA. Number 3 with the WBC. Sorry. So
see, people are crapping on Crawford. I feel like if Crawford doesn't fight Porter next, or Mikey or Danny Garcia, somebody, they're going to just keep piling into him.
They will. And most of it's coming from PBC fans, I'll put it that way. And PBC does have a hold of some of the welterweight champions, Errol Spence, but he may have to vacate. Manny Pacquiao. Errol Spence has got 2 belts as well, doesn't he?
Doesn't make sense to me. Surely Errol Spence can't fight. Why is he not being stripped? That belt needs to be took off him. If you're not able to go into the gym and take a fight in 6 weeks' notice that gets ordered, then you can't have a belt.
Yeah, I agree. But we know how things are with the PBC and the WBC. They'll stretch it out. Hopefully, we'll get a resolution one way or another before February next year, maybe.
Not just PBC though. Not just PBC and WBC. Let's not forget that Tyson Fury's nothing to do with PBC, and he managed to just become a mandatory. Like Lomachenko became a franchise champion. He's with ESPN. DAZN got an elected franchise champion in Canelo. So the WBC are doing all sorts of shit with all sorts of people. Not just PBC and Al Heyman.
Of course, yeah.
Did Al Heyman, Charlo, got one regular belt, the same as Haney for DAZN, an ESPN fighter and a DAZN fighter, got selected franchise champion. I don't know if that's no favouritism to PBC. That's favouritism to DAZN, because two DAZN fighters, one got elevated and one got a franchise champion. To me, that's what I see. I don't see any link between see this boycott WBC.
Yeah.
What are you boycotting them for?
Creating franchise champions for starters. I don't think that should be there. Giving Tyson Fury a WBC mandatory position without fighting for it. What they've done.
That's not uncommon. The WBO have done it with. The WBO gave it to David Haye. They gave it to Tyson Fury. They gave it to Hughie Fury. They've all been. They did. None of them.
They did, but that was one thing. You know, I kicked up a stink about it at the time. Said I didn't like it. People should be fighting for mandatory positions. But then when you add to it the franchise champion things, then you've also got putting Dillian White off until 2021 when he was supposed to get a shot in May if he was cleared. You know, all this adds up for me, and I'm sick of the bullshit.
But Dillian White, you got to remember, see when Dillian White fought Rivas, that was for an interim title and a mandatory spot.
Yeah.
So see when they went to the convention, Dillian White was under investigation for UCAD.
Yep.
So they petitioned for his mandatory to be put on hold. The WBC couldn't have let Dillian White fight a mandatory fight while he was under a drug. Even though UCAD made him clear to box, the WBC, he was still under investigation for a drug charge. So all he did was put his mandatory back. See if that WBC convention wasn't in October, Dillian White would never have lost his mandatory. It was just because the WBC convention gives you the right to petition. They petition and say Dillian White isn't eligible because he's under an investigation. Dillian White has to admit he's under investigation. They can't make Dillian White a mandatory, so Tyson Fury petitions and gets it.
Well, he was the mandatory, and they suspended that status, but they shouldn't have taken away his opportunity to fight in May until May came around. If he wasn't eligible to fight the champion at that stage, if he was still under investigation, yeah, I'd agree for them to push it back. But at the time, Dillian was under investigation. However, the details weren't able to be released because there was court cases going on. But UCAD and UNESCO both knew that the A sample was contaminated, the B sample was clear. They just couldn't release that information. So, you know, the WBC went ahead and suspended that status based on a leak of some of the information that was supposed to be private in the first place. They had no evidence.
But that a boxer who, so Dillian White failed a drug test before a fight and then was allowed to box. They let him box after when he was. They don't know how much he's in his system. UCAD didn't even disclose that he'd failed a drug test to the WBC.
They didn't disclose it to anyone. No one was supposed to know. It's only Thomas Hauser who's going through court case now. He's getting sued for releasing private information, and so is Boxing Scene. But like I said, at the time of the hearing, both UCAD and UNESCO actually knew that the A sample had been contaminated in the lab, and they also knew that the B sample was clear. They just didn't release that because of the court cases going on.
So when are you saying Dillian White? When were you saying Dillian White was clear to fight?
They just said he's cleared to fight because they knew the information, but they kept it private. They didn't release it to the media. That's what I'm saying.
Like, John, you know me, I know UCAD rules and regulations inside out. I've studied it for years, right?
Yep.
And I've been following this story, including emails back and forth to UCAD. I found out that Dillian White's hearing was open to the public because it's held in the tribunal. Right. Dillian White, there is no mention in UCAD. I don't know where you heard that Dillian White's B sample was tested and was clean.
UNESCO.
Because I've been talking to UCAD and there is no mention of that at all. It just says that Dillian White, according to UCAD in the statement they released, Dillian White's evidence was based on a VADA test that he'd done 3 days before it and 3 days after it. They were both clean. There's no mention of the B sample ever being opened and that it was clear.
Not from
And
UK.
anything that you had. Nothing.
UNESCO released a statement a week before Dillian was cleared, explaining the situation. And UNESCO governs WADA and UCAD.
So it wasn't UCAD. UCAD never released anything about the B sample.
No, UNESCO did. But
Right, because that's what I mean. I've been talking to UCAD, and they, as far as I know, the B sample wasn't even took into consideration. As I said to you, UCAD told me and sent me to the rules that explains when a boxer gets popped in Britain, your A sample and B sample. The B sample is owned by the boxer. The boxer has the right for the B sample to be opened. UCAD cannot open that B sample without the boxer requesting it. You can request for that to be opened when they tell you failed a test. You can request your B sample to be opened. If it's found clean, you're automatically cleared.
Yeah.
You're cleared on that day. You don't go to hearing. So if you open your B sample that day and it gets found clean, your A sample just gets contaminated. But if they open your B sample and it's found to be dirty, it makes absolutely no difference to your case. You're still appealing the drug test A that day. The fact that they two tests were took at the same time means that it was in your system and you need to prove why it isn't in your system according to UCAD.
Yeah.
The B sample is irrelevant. If Dillian White's B sample came back clean straight away, then Dillian White wouldn't have had a hearing in October. And I know Dillian White had a hearing in October because Eddie Hearn said on IFL he had it, and UCAD said he had a hearing in October. So if he was cleared after the fight for his B sample, he wouldn't have had a hearing. Dillian White was under UCAD investigation, and they didn't know at the time of the WBC convention. 100%. The times Dillian White wasn't cleared. Dillian White wasn't found to have a contaminated thing before he fought Rivas. He was cleared to box while under investigation. That's different. That means that a boxer with drugs in his system is allowed to box. That's what I don't agree with. Ever. Okay. If you get found to have anything in your system, you should be stopped to box straight away until they find out if it was clean or dirty. You shouldn't be allowed to box until they make a decision. That's shocking.
Yeah.
I can't agree with it.
I understand what you're saying, and the emails you would have got would have been like the generic, we can neither confirm nor deny due to privacy of fighters and blah blah blah, what you always get from UCAD. You know,
there's a page, results management page. They follow you step by step through the results management page and show you the process. They can't tell you what the process is, what the boxer will go through, but they take you step by step. So you know when you go back to them and ask them about the A and B sample, when you're questioning their rules, they come back and tell you that the B sample is irrelevant. The B sample can only clear a fighter, it can't convict a fighter under UCAD rules.
What was that last bit, sorry? A B sample can't convict the fighter, did you say?
Cannot convict a fighter.
Yeah.
If you request for your B sample to be opened and your B sample is found to be dirty, that doesn't make a difference in your case. You can open your B sample any time as a boxer. When you open that B sample, you want to open it the first day and see if it's clean. If your B sample's clean, then the A sample's contaminated and you're automatically cleared. You don't go to a hearing or a ruling. You're cleared there and then. So they know the B sample wasn't opened and found to be clean. That would go against the UCAD protocols. I don't understand. I will email UCAD and if that's... I've never seen any press release saying the B sample was opened and found clean.
I concede. You're probably right. The B sample wasn't opened at the time of the first hearing, but I know that it was opened and it was cleared before Dillian was actually publicly cleared, because UNESCO released a statement saying so. They said there was a contamination event in the lab and the B sample was clear, and that statement was out before the joint statement from UCAD and White.
But that was after the convention. See the WBC convention held in October.
Yeah, but the WBC were using information from Thomas Hauser. They were just going off hearsay, and it wasn't all of the information. You see, they created a suspension out of somebody told them that there was something. That's all, you know.
But they must have went to the WBC has the right to go to UCAD and ask if a fighter's under investigation. They might not be able to know about the case, but they'll know if Dillian White's under investigation.
Of course.
They sanctioned a fighter was... So all they need to know is he was under a... If Dillian White wasn't under an investigation for UCAD or anybody else during that convention, they wouldn't have been able to do anything because he wouldn't have been under any investigation. The fact he was under an investigation at the time of the convention's what fucked him up. It made him liable to put his mandatory on hold and appoint somebody for the governors there and then, which they're allowed to do. That fucked him up. If he had that fight at a different time of the year, if he'd had that fight after that convention, he would never have been stripped of that.
Yeah.
It was just his unluck.
When the
That's all that happened.
When the WBC went to UCAD, they couldn't deny that he was under investigation because of the leak. So once again, they're basing everything on the leak again. But UCAD would have also said to the WBC, we're conducting our investigation, it's private, so we can neither confirm or deny what he's tested for, if anything. You know?
Yep.
So
that makes the WBC say, we've got a fighter who's on a VADA program who's failed a drug test. Can we allow him to... That's what I mean. Can they allow him to be an interim champion? They can't. Their rules dictates that anybody under any kind of drug investigation or ban cannot compete.
I had
can't allow that.
I had no issues with them suspending the status of the mandatory and the interim titles whatsoever, but appointing another mandatory in front of White prior to the mandatory date in May, that's stupid to me, because I said it when I made a video about it. What if Dillian White's cleared before Christmas? You've put him off for no reason, and it turns out he didn't even have any drugs in his system whatsoever. It was contamination in the lab test, so they're punishing him for somebody else's fuck up. That's not fair.
That's like Povetkin. Look at Povetkin. Povetkin popped twice. Twice he failed WBC drug tests.
Yeah, and he took them to court too.
But did they take him to court for 2 or for 1?
They took him. He took them to court for the second time he popped dirty, and they had the laboratory missed protocol, so he got cleared of it. I can't remember what it was. Was it Osterine? It was the second one, wasn't it? So,
I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, it was Osterine the
So
second
he's another
time.
one.
Is Dillian White the mandatory now?
He's the second
No.
mandatory now.
He's the second
Has he?
mandatory.
Yeah. He doesn't get a shot until February 2021. Tyson Fury's been
That's what I was.
Yeah, Tyson Fury's been installed as the mandatory for a fight that's already been organised. Now he, you know, it seems really.
That means it just means that Wilder's fighting a mandatory straight away. And he's fought a mandatory within 12 months. He fought Brazil, and within 12 months he's going to fight another mandatory in Fury.
Yeah, and apparently there's another fight between the two that's already signed and sealed as well. So for me, the WBC found out about the second fight, the third fight. They've mandated Fury to fight Wilder because Wilder hasn't been fighting mandatories every 12 months and everybody's kicking up a stink about it. So they put Fury in there. Then they can hang on to the sanctioning fees for this fight and the next one, and put a DAZN fighter off until February 2021. Kills 3 birds with 1 stone. And they think we're all
Filthy.
Yeah,
You know, they I keep
That's
hearing
normal in boxing.
a lot of these. I keep hearing a lot of these guys saying, "Oh, everyone's ducking Wilder," you know, and no one will front up. But then they're the ones standing in the way of a Dillian White fight. You know, there's no reason why Wilder could not fight Fury in February and then fight Dillian White next. There is no justification for Dillian White being made to wait till February of 2021.
There's no reason for Fury to be made mandatory. They're already
No,
fighting.
there's not. There's not. The fight was already made. That's right. It's BS, man.
It is for me
It's just,
too.
but that's what I mean. It's just the WBC. Just that's what they can do at conventions. They can just turn around and say, right, that mandatory's under investigation. Put him back 12 months. Allocate somebody else. You're lucky they allocated Tyson Fury, or we would have had another man. Imagine if they decided to put. They could have put anybody in there. Imagine they put Rivas in there and said Rivas is no mandatory.
Oh, there's some more to talk about too. Rivas in the glove.
So, but that's the thing.
Rivas in the gloves.
Oh, Rivas's gloves. I had this with McGregor, by the way. I hope McGregor actually comes on, because McGregor's told me he's going to make a video Did anybody see him versus D Styles, is it, in a debate?
I did. I've been looking for this video of Mark Ramsey. I can't find it, talking about the glove.
It's not real, but it's McGregor. McGregor's got the tape. He said he's got the audio, but it's private and he's no sharing it. But then he came back to me and said that wasn't what Ramsey said. I went in as well. I was looking into the gloves because I had an interview with a guy called Russ Abner, who was the cut man for Rivas and part of Rivas's team. He said that they went to the convention. They made a petition about the gloves, no about the drug ban. The petition was that Dillian White at do you know the meeting, the glove meeting? You get 3 pairs of gloves, am I right?
2.
They put out 3 pairs of gloves.
Okay.
They checked the gloves. They picked a glove for Dillian White, 1, 2 and 3. Dillian White picked gloves for them. When they went in to see the gloves before the fight, Dillian White was wearing a different pair of gloves. The one of the gloves they signed off. They said we never signed off the gloves. We asked to inspect the gloves. We were told the gloves were already taped up, so we couldn't see them. So we went back in, and they went to the WBC before the fight and petitioned there and then and said the gloves on the gloves we've signed off. Then the British Boxing Board, I sent McGregor it earlier as well, the British Boxing Board of Control have a rule, 10.4 in the rules, which say that both fighters must wear the same pair of gloves. They must be the same company gloves. And the ones that Dillian White wore weren't even one of the selected 3. They were a pair of rivals. They were a pair of fly gloves instead of rivals. He never even wore the gloves that were permitted to wear in that fight. So McGregor's going to make a video saying that Mark Ramsey never said that.
Yeah, well, this is what I want to see, because I saw that McGregor versus D-Style. And there's conflicting arguments there, as Russ Abner said they didn't check the gloves, but what I heard Unrivaled say was that the WBC picked the replacement gloves because somebody else had ended up using the gloves that Dillian was supposed to use. But still, it leaves the question of where was the at least second pair that Dillian had given to him from Rivas's team. But yeah, apparently Unrivaled says the WBC picked the gloves. That's
not even the worst yet. That's not even the worst yet, because I was looking into it. I've been into it all day and sending it to McGregor. But the actual gloves the gloves that Dillian White says somebody else wore my gloves.
Yeah.
Rivas's team checked the gloves and they weren't even a pair of gloves that they'd permitted to be worn. So the gloves that the replacement, they're saying, somebody on the undercard wore the fights, they checked the gloves. Rivas's team say they weren't the gloves that we'd even checked.
They were different again.
So that was that. Yeah.
Where did the gloves go?
Where
did the gloves go?
It's because they're not checked. They never got to weigh them. That's what they said. We never got to weigh the gloves, feel the fingers or feel anything. We don't know what weight was in the gloves. We didn't get to examine the gloves. We only seen them when they were on his hands and they wouldn't let us touch them.
Yeah, like I was getting to, Unrivaled says Mark Ramsey had checked the gloves 10 minutes before the fight. But if they were taped up, you can't check them properly. You don't know how heavy they are. There was also questions about the wraps. I know the rules are different in the UK. Apparently, only the British Board of Boxing Control has to see a fighter wrap their hands. The other team doesn't have to be there for that. But that can swap and change too. When Anthony Joshua fought Joseph Parker, they had to have team members watching the wraps. But maybe that was just because it was in the contract rather than just getting by with the triple BOC's rules. But there's a lot to be answered for with this glove situation. Who's lying? Somebody's lying somewhere. But it's certainly given Oscar Rivas a boost in the WBO rankings anyway. He's up to number 5? He's gone up from losing a fight against Dillian White. Interesting. But we shall see in the near future, I guess. Alright, so a quick round of predictions before the weekend. Daniel Dubois versus Kitaro Fujimoto. You want to have a go at that one first, Double A? Oh, he's muted. You want to go first there, Marla?
I'd go Dubois by KO.
Picking a round? Or a group of 3?
Ooh, probably within 6.
Within 6. All right, I've got Dubois KOing Kutaro Fujimoto in the second round. I think he's going to be lucky even to make it out of the first, to be honest. But I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. 2 rounds. You going to jump in on this one, or are you busy there, Double A? Must be busy. Still muted.
It's going to be interesting to see what Dubois. I reckon next year is really going to be. This year hasn't been too bad for fights, but I think next year is set up. You don't want to get ahead of yourself, but I think it's set up to be quite good. I mean, you've got. I think if Parker doesn't fight Usyk for the WBO strap, which I think will be vacated, it'll be Chisora fighting Usyk. Then I think Eddie Hearn will probably match Parker with Dillian White, there'll be a good rematch. And then imagine if Parker beats Dillian White, he could take a good spot in the WBC rankings. Imagine if Parker ended up fighting Wilder at some point.
Wow.
That'd be exciting.
If Parker beats Dillian White, he gets the mandatory for the WBC. So
yeah, man, imagine that. So that'd be exciting. And you got obviously Fury. I was watching highlights of the first fight with Fury and Wilder, and it was such a good fight. It was really good. So I'm really excited about the rematch.
Yep.
So there's going to be some good fights next year. I'm hoping to see Jamal Charlo step up next year and get a fight against somebody, just to see how good he is. And to see Crawford. I'd love to see Crawford fight Porter or something like that. So I reckon next year, man, there's some really exciting stuff coming up. And it'll be interesting to see Andy Ruiz, what happens with him if he can get another fight with somebody. Got to try and, get the he embarrassed himself. He did get embarrassed. It's not so much he got embarrassed because he lost the fight. He got embarrassed because of the shape he presented himself in and just his whole attitude. It just wasn't professional, in his lead up to the fight. And a lot of people are down on him for that. So it'll just be interesting to see if he can actually sort himself out and actually come in for a fight at 250 and do himself a bit of justice, Yeah. Because his reputation did get a dent. And there is talk of him still getting a fight with Wilder.
Yo, I was going to say, did you see that article from Mauricio Solomon the other day talking about Ruiz possibly getting a voluntary shot against Deontay Wilder? And I see a lot of fans have kicked up a stick.
Yeah.
Oh, why should he get a shot before Dillian White? Well, a voluntary is a voluntary, and he was a champion less than 2 weeks ago, so he deserves a high ranking with whatever body you want to put him on.
And he is a live fight. He is a live fighter. I mean, if he comes in, oh God, if he could get down to 250, I still think he could give Wilder a good scrap. It'll be very interesting. If Wilder hits him, and I'm waiting for this to happen, I'm just waiting for Wilder to hit someone and they don't go down. And if anyone's not going to go down, or they're going to go down but get up and come back firing, it's Ruiz. And if he can then get inside on Wilder and really go after him with his combos and his hand speed, the fight could really turn into something people weren't expecting.
Yeah. But like you say, I think he's really going to have to get that weight down to try and quicken up his feet a bit, because Wilder's still got pretty quick feet.
He does, yeah. Yeah, he's not easy to get to.
No, that's right.
Let's be honest. Ruiz, imagine turning up to work in that shape for the biggest day of your work career, and you turn up in that shape. That's like going to your job with a hangover. It's terrible.
Yeah,
it was awful.
Well, see, he's talking about I'm going to try and prove the haters wrong in the future. He's created a whole lot of haters due to his comments, saying...
He did. Yeah.
You're going to make people doubt you when you say, I didn't train properly for my first defense of 3 world titles. I could have done better in training. Well, why didn't you then?
Yeah, man. He goes, how about we have a third fight? And the third fight, I'll be in shape, man. And it's like, well, yeah, why weren't you in shape for this one, you prick?
Yeah.
Like I saw an interview with his dad, and his dad didn't pull any punches. And it made me laugh because a lot of people were criticizing how AJ fought the fight. And Ruiz's dad said, look, AJ fought a great fight, and he fought the right fight. It was Ruiz's dad. And then he said, and then he was talking about Ruiz, and he said, oh, we wanted him to come home with us, but he wanted to stay out with his mates. You know, I told him he was too fat. He needed about a month out from the fight. He needed to lose weight. You know, he wouldn't listen. We told him to get a personal trainer. He wouldn't do it. You know, they were in his ear.
Yeah.
You know, they were in his ear telling him. He just didn't want to hear it. Then after the fight, he said, "Oh, you know, I should have listened to my team." And it's like, I tried to train myself. It's like, why? You've got a good trainer. You've got a really good trainer there who's prepared to work with you. Why would you try to train yourself? Why would you come in so fat? It's like, and then he says, "Oh, I thought it would make me stronger." It's like, mate, you're just trying to justify your pathetic attitude towards training. You know what I mean? Piling on another, 20 pounds of flab isn't going to make you better. It's just not. And he was just making excuses to say that he thought it would make him stronger. It's just, he's embarrassed himself. He really has. And it's disappointing.
I see Quinn and Oasis arguing in the chat. Hellenius had White in trouble, and Quinn says no, he didn't. Well, I'll tell you what. Hellenius broke his hand on Dillian White's head in the second round, and he did have Dillian White in a little bit of trouble. He wasn't like stumbling all over the place, but he was getting dealt to. If Hellenius hadn't have broken his hand in that one punch, it could have been a totally different story. Looking at Hellenius now, he's nowhere near as hungry or how good he was back then. He's on the slide. He seems to have lost motivation. But don't forget, Robert Hellenius hits fucking hard. He might not be the best boxer. He might not be the fastest mover. But if he hits you on the chin, it fucking hurts. Ask Dillian White yourself.
It's the thing with heavyweight boxing. Everyone compares who gets who hurt. But in heavyweight boxing, one punch can get anyone hurt.
Yeah.
You just... it's just the nature of it. You can be up against someone who may not even be as good as you.
Yeah.
But if they happen to land the punch on the night, they just happen. It's their night. And they land the shot. They can turn a fight.
Exactly. I mean, look what that one punch from Ruiz did. That left hook that caught Joshua in the temple. That wrecked the whole fight for him. So
it did, man. It's funny. It's just how it's like people criticize Wilder by getting rocked by Molina. But as I say, it's heavyweight boxing, eh?
Yeah.
It just happens.
The trick is, don't get hit flush.
Yeah. Yeah, mate.
But there's some interesting situations going on at the moment. Lots of stuff could happen. There's talk of Anthony Joshua trying to fight both of his mandatories, maybe trying to pay Usyk some step aside money. Would he take it? I think if I was in Usyk's position, if Joshua wanted to pay me step aside money to wait to fight him, do I want to wait to get that big paycheck against Anthony Joshua, or do I want to fight a possibly easier opponent to obtain the belt and move on that way?
Yeah, get the belt. Yeah, if I was Usyk, I would want the fight for the belt.
Yeah.
I'd want that achievement of being able to actually get my hands on it.
It's certainly easy for us to say because we're not getting offered potentially millions of dollars to step aside,
Yeah, that's true, eh? Yeah. It will depend on how confident he was of beating AJ, I guess.
Yeah, and
if he's confident of beating AJ, he may take the step aside.
And how big the step aside check is going to be too could influence his decision.
Yeah.
So, interesting. Did you want to get in on something there at Double A?
I think if they're going to order him and Parker, there's not that much money in that fight, really, is there? Like, realistically, that's not a lot of money in that. He'll get me to step aside, and then he's guaranteed the AJ fight, isn't he? So, if I was him, I'd take the step aside money. Because it's as long as it's more than you're going to get to fight Joseph Parker.
Yeah, the paycheck against Joshua is certainly going to be way bigger than anything else. So, it's weighing up the want for the belts or the want for the money. Which do you want most?
And that would mean it'd be interesting if AJ kept both the belts, and Usyk took the step aside money. You could then see Parker having his fight with Chisora.
Yeah, and also,
they may reschedule.
Yeah, there's also the influence of the WBO. Would they allow a step aside or not. You know, they haven't had a
Yeah.
mandatory fought for a long time. Don't know.
The last time they actually had a mandatory elected fight in a final eliminator was Tyson Fury against Christian Hammer.
Yeah.
That's how long ago before the WBO actually had a final eliminator and that person fought for a title. That's a shit long time.
That is a hell of a long time. What's that, 2014 or something like that, isn't it? Long time ago.
Over 5 years.
Yeah. So, shit. We'll see what happens. I guess we're going to find out in the new year. Because the IBF had ordered, and what have they got? 120 days after the Joshua Ruiz fight to organise a fight with him and Pulev. The WBO's date, they've got until June 4th to sort out, to be in the ring, I think, actually. It was June 4th was the date.
No, May the 30th.
Sorry,
I think it's May the 30th
oh, May the 30th? Okay.
for the IBF. I think the IBF's May the 30th.
Okay. IBF's
seen
May
Bob-
30th
Bob-
and the
Bob-
WBO's 5 days
Bob-
later.
Bob Arum gave an interview and he was talking about the Pulev fight, and he says they're taking the money to go to England and fight Joshua. So I think they're going to be trying to make that fight straight away. But it's they'll want that. They might want that fight before May, I think. So AJ's got a chance if he could get that fight in early May, maybe, because he likes a long camp. So we'll see. I think Usyk should take a step aside money though. Step aside and then still keep his mandatory. And then, but you need a guarantee. You need a guarantee that you're going to fight that within a time, don't you? What happens if he loses to Pulev? He's going to have a rematch clause against Pulev, isn't he?
No, because it's a mandatory.
But let's be
Oh,
honest.
wow, no, you're right. Because there's 3 belts, he could still put a rematch clause in there. You know, if you're a mandatory for 1 belt and the champion only has 1 belt, then you don't have to have a rematch clause. You can say nah. But if there's 3 belts,
No, you don't need a rematch clause for any. But the financial incentives obviously, Tyson Fury didn't have to have a rematch for Klitschko. He opted to have that in because it was like take 3 million or you get 5 million with a rematch clause.
okay, well there you go.
No, because Dillian White said he wanted to get into a mandatory position for AJ, so he wouldn't have to have a rematch.
Yep.
But do you know the IBF ruling? You know that changed this year as well, what the split is for a mandatory?
It used to be 25-75 for them, didn't it? Has it changed?
It's 35, 65, 35 now.
Wow.
So Pulev gets a third spot of the purse.
That's it, only if it goes to purse bid though, eh?
Yeah.
So,
John, I had to ask you. I've
Yep.
just been looking at something here. Usyk was the undisputed cruiserweight champ, right? Does that automatically give you a high ranking? Because he's 1 with the WBO, he's 2 with the WBA, and he's 3 with the WBC, and he's done nothing as a heavyweight.
well, I'm not exactly sure on the rules of the other governing bodies, but I know the WBO, if you become undisputed in a weight class below, they make you the super champion, so you automatically can request to be mandatory for the next division up. But it's on the backs of the other, the WBC, the IBF, and the WBA where they want to rank Usyk. But obviously, them having him as their number 1 in the cruiserweights prior to him moving up, it's got to hold some weight in the next division up, I guess. So, it is what it is.
John, can you remember when Usyk said that he was moving up to heavyweight, and when the WBO announced when Usyk stepped up, he would become mandatory?
Yeah.
Do you remember when it happened?
Yeah. Pretty much as soon as he said he was moving up, the WBO came out and said he can request to be made mandatory anytime
He'll
he
move
likes.
But do you remember what they said? They said Anthony Joshua is the WBO super champion.
Yeah. He can't move up a division though,
But there
can
was
he?
never a super. But there was never. So is the WBO the WBO, Anthony Joshua a WBO super champion or just a regular champion?
The WBO doesn't have separate belts. They just
But Anthony Joshua is considered as they consider him as a super champion.
yes, but they don't have a regular champion like the WBA does. You know, they just put
So when
the
Usyk,
carry on.
so when they said Usyk was going to become mandatory and Joshua was now the super champion, there's no such thing as a super champion.
For the heavyweights, I don't know why they bother with a super champion. Why put that tag on there? It just means that they're a unified champion, and they hold the WBO
But
strap.
I'm wondering, does that have anything to do with mandatories though? Could that game's a way out with mandatories with the WBO? Because he's a super champion, would they let Usyk take step aside money? Because he is a WBO super champion. I'm sure they named him as a WBO super champion. I'll check the
Usyk, you mean?
I'll give you the
Yeah, I'm not sure what bearing it does have on mandatories for a super champion
It's the
that can't move
2nd
up.
of August. It was the 2nd of August 2018. Anthony Joshua has been elevated to WBO super champion in a boost to his unification dreams. So, I don't actually know what it means.
2nd
But he
of
is
October.
he is a WBO super champion according to the WBO. They did elevate him on the 2nd of August 2018.
Okay,
I never heard anything after that, no. I do know that they elevated him, but then they never carried out any other thing. I didn't know if they were going to let Usyk fight for a belt while Joshua. Maybe it was in case Usyk wanted a mandatory before AJ took a mandatory, and maybe I made an interim belt for him. I don't know. But aye, AJ was announced as a super champion by the WBO in August.
yeah, I'm just looking up.
So
He
maybe-
had a fight in September. The fight prior to the announcement was Joseph Parker. So when he unified the third belt that he got, it was after that they decided to elevate him to super champion. But what that actually means as a heavyweight who can't move up in any divisions, for me, it doesn't really mean anything, but we'll have to look up the rules in the WBO to see what it means for him. Whether it's got any bearing on his mandatories or what. But yeah, the way I understand it is they just call a unified champion who's got 3 belts or more a super champion. It doesn't mean anything unless you move up in weight, but a heavyweight can't move up in weight, so why bother with it for me? Not sure.
No, I wonder if Usyk. Well, they're not going to make an interim belt for Usyk to fight for. Surely not.
Nah.
Hopefully not. But if I was Usyk, I would definitely. Usyk needs to take a fight though in between. And who do you fight? Because he needs to fight somebody with a pulse, doesn't he?
Yeah. I think
So
I don't, you know, Usyk versus Chisora might sell pretty well in the UK, but Derek Chisora being way down the rankings doesn't make a lot of sense from Usyk's point of view. But stylistically, it's not a bad fight to test himself. But if his next fight after that is going to be against maybe Anthony Joshua or, you know, Pulev, possibly if he beats Joshua, I don't see it happening, but he's going to have to fight somebody who's got some decent height, at least 6'5", not a 6'2" fighter like Derek Chisora, who fights in a style that none of those big guys are going to fight like. So I don't know, man.
I think Vladimir Klitschko goes into the dressing room and he comes out dressed as Anthony Joshua and then he gets into the ring with Usyk and does his style. And then he goes back out and comes out on his knees and he lambs Joey DeWeco.
Wow, did you guys see that Vladimir Klitschko's teasing the fans again today? Talking about coming back again.
Oh, he's worse than Floyd, isn't he? He's worse than Floyd. At least Floyd had a fan base. Oh, why is Anthony Joshua going to fight Klitschko when he's got 2 mandatories and then he's got chasing undisputed? Why is Tyson Fury going to fight him when he's going to fight Wilder for a belt? Like, I don't know if Klitschko will come back and nobody will want to fight him. They'll be like, what have you got?
I think Klitschko just misses being in the limelight. You know, he's got to stick it out there every now and then so somebody talks about him.
I hope he doesn't come back. The comebacks, they never seem to end well.
No, what's he now, 44 or something like that?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
he's
I wouldn't
coming
come
off.
back.
He hasn't had a win for a long time. Early 2015, I think, was his last win. Don't ruin your legacy, Vlad. Leave it as it is. You know, many people remember him for jab and grab, but there's also the many that remember him as a 11-year champion who defended his belts and dominated the division. So I'd rather keep that status than being the guy who came back and got knocked the fuck out several times and did a Roy Jones Jr. You know.
But let's not forget he got beat up a lot at the beginning of his career as well.
He did.
Like, he had Bambi legs at times. He had no engine. Like, he did become that boxer.
Yeah, if it wasn't for Emmanuel Stewart, he wouldn't have become
Yep.
what he did. Which also brings us...
What did he make about Tyson Fury?
That's what I was
Yep, I was
about
just
to
going to say
mention.
that, the rumour.
Yeah, Sugar Hill Stewart, the nephew of Emmanuel Stewart, is going to be Tyson Fury's new coach. He's currently training Charles Martin. It's his coach at the moment, the Kronk Gym. What do you guys reckon about it?
And what was the reason behind the change? Did they say why, or?
Nothing so far. You know, Ben Davison's come out with a statement saying they're still going to be mates. Fury's still going to smash that big DOS of Wilder and all these sorts of things. So, I don't know. For me, possibly...
What training?
Sorry?
He was on the pads with Ben only... I'm going to say it was maybe within a week or a week ago. He was on the pads with Ben inside Ricky Hatton's gym.
Yep.
But I don't know if Ben Davison wants to be based in America, to be honest. He's been in Britain a hell of a lot when Tyson Fury's been in America. Ben's been over here and Tyson's been in America. That's that. You can't have that. You can't have your trainer on the other end of the world.
Yep. For me, I think Ben Davison did a good job getting Tyson back on track, helped them with his mental situation and his physical downfall at the time. But I think maybe Tyson's moved past that and he's ready to start possibly being a little bit more aggressive. And I don't know if Ben's
that's what
quite the right kind of coach for that. He's a very defensively minded coach, isn't he? So I
what I was going to ask you about.
Yeah, I thought maybe Freddie Roach was going to be in there, but where you go, Muller?
Yes, I was going to ask you about maybe if he's going to bring more aggression, but if he brings more aggression against Wilder, I think it could backfire on him. I like it. I like the style he fought the first time, but he's just got to fight that style, but even better. You know.
Well, if Sugar Hill's anything like his uncle Emmanuel, you know, it'll be fighting smart, but using aggression when it's necessary. Maybe, you know, I don't know. I don't know too much about Sugar Hill myself. What about you, Double A? What do you know about Sugar Hill?
Don't know a lot about him.
Okay.
I know who he is and that he's been training, but let's be honest, Tyson Fury just needs somebody to keep him motivated.
Yeah.
I honestly believe I seen Tyson Fury when he came back and he was at 30 stone. See when he was in Ricky Hatton's gym and he was on knee pads. Like, that's the difference between somebody who's got a natural talent. Like, he was big and still able to move. So as long as he keeps in shape and he can keep concentrated, Tyson Fury will go in the ring and do his own thing.
Yeah.
Anything you tell him, he's going to do is he's going to box, isn't he? He's going to hit you when he thinks he can hit you. He's going to try and avoid every single punch. It's built into him. Like, I don't think Tyson Fury goes in there intentionally to box. I think he always goes in there saying, I'm going to take his head off, I'm going to knock him out. But once he gets in there, then he gets into a rhythm. He's just happy just to jab them and move out the way. I don't think anybody will make Tyson Fury aggressive. I don't think he's got it in him. I think he's just happy to sit back and box like that now. It's interesting to see though.
Yeah. like you say, it's how he's always boxed, and he does revert to type, doesn't he? And it works for him. So I don't know, some little. Oh, I'd put it this way: getting input from a lot of different coaches isn't necessarily a bad thing, but changing it up 2 months before one of the biggest fights of your life, I don't know if that's a good idea or not. But as far as we know, maybe Tyson's already been training with this guy for a little while on and off. Maybe he's got a taste of how it works with him, and he wants to get on that boat. You know, I mean, there's some good
Let's be
heavyweight
honest.
sparring he can get out of the Kronk gym as well. So
He's not fighting somebody he doesn't know. He knows Deontay Wilder inside out. He's already had a full camp training for every style that Wilder can bring. It's been inside his brain since he beat Klitschko and Wilder had the other belt. He's watched Wilder. Tyson Fury doesn't know his boxing. He's watched Wilder since he became pro. So it's not like he's going in there against somebody he doesn't know anything about.
exactly.
Tyson Fury's got his own game plan, isn't he?
Yep.
He just needs somebody to keep him on track.
Yeah. I
The
guess.
blueprint's here for Wilder. Don't get hit. If you can go 36 minutes without touching the canvas, you'll win. Just nobody's done it.
Yeah.
Lost to Verne. Gave you that at the first fight. But do you know what I mean? If Tyson Fury can go in there and no hit the canvas, he wins the fight. If he touches the canvas, he's going to lose.
Simple as that, really, isn't it?
It is, man.
Very interesting. All right. Okay, lads, is there any other subjects you'd like to bring up before we think about shutting it down? We've been on for an hour and a half, so
That's about it for now. The year's over, and get ready for next year.
it is
Yep.
indeed.
Just one last card for us in the UK.
Yep,
That's us for the year.
that's just the Daniel Dubois card you're talking about.
Yep.
Yep,
I think that's the only decent card we've got to the end of the year now.
and is it on Friday over there or Saturday over there? It's at the Copper Box, I know that much.
I think it's Saturday the 21st, is it?
So it'll be Sunday morning here in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh fuck! I'm going on holiday on Friday and coming back on Monday. I'm going to be away for that fight. I'll have to watch that when I'm away.
find a way.
Forgot about that. Forgot I'm going away on Friday.
Might only be a 30-second fight, so we'll see. But
This guy looks funny. Have you seen his promos? Fujimoto's been sending promos off Japan or wherever he's based.
oh, is he?
They're like faces, like the Japanese, like when you see the Japanese UFC fighters and they like turn into the camera and pull funny faces and stuff. He's
Okay.
been doing that shit and that, saying he's going to whip Daniel Dubois.
I'm gonna have to do a search. Maybe make a meme out of it. We'll see. But interesting. Alright, so that's us for today then, lads. A big thank you to Marla2243 and AA Boxing Blunts for dropping in for a chat. Everybody else in the chat as well, thank you very much for joining. And today I'm going to leave you with a Christmas song. And it's a bit of a funny one, and it's adult content. So enjoy. Have a very Merry Christmas. This is probably going to be the last stream for the year. I might do one after the Daniel Dubois fight, seeing how it goes, but probably shutting it down for the year. So hope everybody has a very Merry Christmas. Not too merry. Stay safe. And I will catch you in the next one, or the next year. Alright, lads, here comes the song. Enjoy.
Please be Kevin Bloody Wilson. Please be Kevin Bloody Wilson.
It is.
Quite often I get to thinking how as kids we got by. Like at Christmas time at our house, we couldn't even afford a fire. But we made do with what we had back then when I was young. Dad used to suck a peppermint, we'd all sit around his tongue. We couldn't afford no fancy tinsel for our Christmas tree, so we'd just wheel our granddad in and make the old cunt sneeze. Really round the other side now. But things change pretty bloody quick. I've got kids now of my own. And I heard them unwrap their prezzies last night when I got home. Hey, Santa Claus, you cunt! Where's me fucking bike? I've unwrapped all this other junk and there's nothing that I like. I wrote you a fucking letter and I come to see you twice. You worn out geriatric fart, you forgot me fucking bike. If I'd have wanted a pair of bloody socks, I would have bloody asked. And this cowboy suit and ping pong set you can shove right up your ass. You stuffed me bloody order up, it's enough to make you stew. But it's not just me who's snaky, mate, me sister's dirty too. Hey, Santa Claus, you cunt. Where's me fucking pram? You promised me you'd send me one, and you remember who I am. 'Cause I'm the little girl what you made sit right on your hand. I'll give you fucking ho-ho-ho, you forgot me fucking pram. Next time I come to see, I'm gonna punch in the gut. And I'll let your fucking reindeer loose, kick Rudolph in the nut. Yeah, you just wait till next year till you get back to that store. And me and me little sister come stomping through the door and we'll say, hey, mums and dads, just smell his breath and check his bloodshot eyes. And don't listen to him, boys and girls, 'cause he tells fucking lies. He's just a piss tank and a pervert. He's not even very bright, 'cause the old fucking wanker forgot me fucking bike. Hey, Santa Claus, you cunt. Where's me fucking bike? I've unwrapped all this other junk and there's nothing that I like. I wrote you a fucking letter and I come to see you twice. You worn out geriatric farts and I got me fucking bike. I'll dog you in, you old cunt. I'll tell me old man on you, he'll punch your fucking lights out. I saw Mummy sucking Santa Claus.
So I hope y'all enjoyed that. That's Kevin Bloody Wilson. I've been to a couple of his live shows. He's got some good shit. Go check him out. But that's us for today. And that's the lives until after Christmas. So hope y'all have enjoyed. Have a very Merry Christmas. Stay safe. Enjoy the time with your family and friends. And we'll see you next year. This is Big Boys Boxing. And I'm out. See you.